It's a Manchu. Welcome to Peril on Gorgon. So if you saw my last video, I hope it wasn't too confusing and disorienting. There will be a link at the end of each of my videos to my full playthrough of The Outer Worlds. That's not what this is. This is just going to focus on the DLC that didn't exist the first time I played through it. I thought I'd do a new playthrough, a new character, and not knowing how the DLC triggers, what starts it, I had no idea. So I played the game for like 30 hours till I got to level 25, and that's when the DLC kicked in. And so if I look in the journal here, it explains some guy named Lucky Montoya, who's apparently a friend of Alex Hawthorne, former owner of The Unreliable. He brought a message to The Unreliable about some kind of job with a wealthy client, Minnie Ambrose. Now, that message had an arm attached to it. I guess we can assume it was Lucky Montoya's arm. I don't know that's for a fact, but probably. And the other thing I can point out about my character, I decided to go with a kind of a different character concept. This is Og. He hits things with sharp objects, and they fall down. You can see he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. I've made it a point throughout this playthrough, and I'm going to continue to do so. Whenever there is a dumb dialogue option, I will choose the dumb dialogue option, because Og is special. Special and, rides the short bus to school special. Now let me gear up with the best armor I can get, and let's head out to this asteroid or something. Let's see, where is that at? It's conveniently labeled Gorgon. Alright, let's head there. See what this job is about.
We arrived at Ambrose Manor.
Hey, Ada.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
Alright, I'm just going to forget that whole conversation. It wasn't helpful. Let's head out here and see what there is to see. And now comes the big question. Who do I take with me? I have all the companions. I did not have all the companions the last time I played this in my first playthrough. I'd never got Ellie. I don't know if she has a quest for her specifically. I don't know if she does. I've completed Felix's quest and Nyoka's quest and Vicar Max's quest. Pravati, well, yeah, not finished with that one yet, because I haven't actually got to Halcyon yet. Anyway, I'm definitely going to take Ellie with me. But who else? I think I'll go with Nyoka. Yeah, these two.
Welcome to
This is where the benefactors were supposed to meet.
Please follow. Do not stray from the path.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
You're gonna walk off the, dude. I think it's broken.
Been there, little guy.
You think you had a little too much to drink?
You know, I'd been assuming this entire stay on your ship thing isn't a permanent arrangement. Part of my contract? That said, you ain't been eaten or shot to death yet. Says a lot about the stability of your future. And to be honest, I'm about sick of sleeping on bar stools. So how's about this? You keep letting me stay on that ship of yours, and I'll keep shooting at the things you point at.
I like that arrangement, yeah.
Outstanding.
Okay, thank you for that little piece of information. Hey, Ellie.
So, we're just gonna march straight into Byzantium and acquire some rare chemicals right under the board's nose? I sure hope you negotiated for a raise with this Phineas guy.
Yeah, I may get into that at some point, but right now, we're here in Gorgon and we're gonna do this other gig.
Ever notice how this job gets bigger and more dangerous every time he calls in? He's asking a lot, Captain. Makes me wonder what your angle is.
Yeah, I guess he rescued me. I should see this through with him, right?
That's one way of looking at it. Another is that he pulled you out of hibernation without your say-so and got you to do his dirty work. Besides, none of this is your mess, so why go dirtying your hands with it?
Yeah, Ellie does make a good point. Yeah, maybe you're right.
I haven't survived this long by being wrong. And anyway, Phineas isn't your only option.
What do you
The
say?
board's put a bounty on his head, and they've got more than enough bits to pay it. I've got no love for the corporations, but they know how to take care of their people. The ones at the top, anyway.
Yeah, aim high, right?
Exactly. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders, so I probably don't need to tell you this, but look out for yourself. No one else out here will.
Now I know you're trying to flatter me. I want to say you're wrong about that, but what I mean by that is you're wrong about me having a good head on my shoulders. I didn't know you cared, Ellie.
Hey, don't get any ideas. I'm just making sure you last long enough to pay me at the end of this. Anything else?
Can we talk about the Gorgon job?
If there's one thing you could say about Lucky Montoya, he was always at the center of a story. Guess this is fitting.
Wait, you knew the guy?
Sure, like Ada said, he was a big name among freelancers. I met him at Lost Hope once. He was buying rounds for everyone and telling a story about one of his jobs. Pretty sure half of it was made up.
But the drinks were still free, right?
Exactly.
I
There was
see where
just
you're coming
something about Montoya I couldn't quite trust. He was always the center of a room, and he slapped a lot of backs to stay there.
from. So, where are you going with this?
I'm trying to say that if he screwed this job up, that's on him. I still like our odds. He may have had a rep, but you're more capable than he ever was.
We'll get this done.
Hey, I only throw in with winners. What's on your mind?
Not a lot. Really not a lot. So, what do you think happened to Lucky?
From his arm? The decay makes it hard to tell. Could be a lot of things.
Are we sure it's
Torn
his
off
arm?
by something with big teeth, torn off by something with big claws, torn off by someone with a moderately sharp blade. Or maybe he just got too close to heavy machinery.
That sounds right. Too close to heavy machinery. Alright, enough about Gorgon.
Sure. Something on your mind?
Very little is on my mind. You should know that by now, Ellie. Alright, let's go. Let's not follow the robot off the cliff. Is that the robot's name? Drinks to the butler?
Unit expresses this way.
How you doing, buddy? You had a little accident there. Well, it's still live, but I can't talk to it. Oh well. It's an impressive looking place. Wilhelmina Ambrose. Sounds Italian.
Keep your guard up. Could be all manner of surprises in there.
At the very least, there ought to be something worth stealing in there.
What the hell? It's a Saltuna track. Saltuna running on a track? What is this about? Well, it's not exactly what I'd have in my front yard. But who am I to say that's in bad taste? There must be a bunch of people living here. Look at the size of this place. Alright, always got my eye out for loot or interesting shinies. Nothing here. Now they're expecting... Who are they expecting? Lucky, probably. I'm gonna take this. It's mine now.
Okay, maybe not.
I take it back. Ain't nothing here but memories.
Maybe this Wilhelmina person is long gone. Hi. You remind me of somebody I know, and you're kind of freaking me out right now. These robots are kind of freaky. None of them will talk to me. Jeez, that cleaning robot really isn't doing their job very well. This place is a mess. Like the fancy plates. User Wambros attempted to log into system. They got locked out trying to log in because they couldn't get the password right. Oh, Ambrose activated dinner time protocol meal. Did somebody reset their password and they could no longer feed themselves? I'm not sure what that's about. Stock is spoiled. Please replenish. Huh. I don't think I'm going to be able to pick that. Actually, let me check. I have a special lock-picking outfit. What does it get my lock picked up to? $68. Even I took drugs, I wouldn't get it that high. Alright. Back to the fighting armor. Alright, let's see what's upstairs then. No idea what I'm going to find in here. Here's some shinies. Ooh, it's a fancy looking sink too. Doesn't look like this is considered stealing. Which I'm happy for. I'm taking all the stuff. That's barred. Wow, there is somebody here.
Huh? Apparently not. Well, join me for a drink, Mr. Whoever you are.
Don't mind if I do.
So who the devil are you?
Og, Captain of the Unreliable.
You don't say. Well, make yourself at home, Captain. I'm sure we have much to discuss. Do you see that glowing chunk of space rock? That's Gorgon. My birthright, my burden, and the bane of my existence. I hate to drink alone, and this is my third. So join me in raising a glass. To Gorgon.
Okay, to Gorgon.
To Gorgon. May cosmic winds shepherd her to the nearest star. I'm Wilhelmina Ambrose, but you can keep it short and call me Minnie. Now, what brings you to my house, handsome? I take it you didn't come all this way for the beverages, the starry skies, or the pleasant company.
I heard about a job.
A severed arm. How positively ghoulish. You know this is a private residence, not a curio shop?
Does the name Lucky Montoya mean anything to you?
Lucky Montoya is my personal freelancer. Fascinating man. Very brooding and theatrical. Always staring into space and twirling a bullet over his knuckles.
He's definitely not doing that anymore.
But if something happened to him...
Maybe he's left-handed.
Oh dear. I suppose that makes him my former freelancer now?
Well, he may not be dead, just his arm. Wait, you fired him because he lost an arm?
Among other parts, I assume.
I don't know.
What a time for his luck to run out. We were in the middle of something grand, and I really can't afford another setback.
His recording mentioned some kind of high-stakes job. I assumed high stakes, high pay?
Funny that you should bring that up. How would you like to be my new freelancer? There's been a recent vacancy, and I think you're well suited to the job.
Remember, play hard to get. That's negotiation.
You're awful quick to trust a bunch of strangers that broke into your home.
I'm looking for someone rough around the edges. A gorgeous, dashing scoundrel type. Incidentally, someone good with their hands.
Well, I'm good in that I still have two hands. But if I see someone like that, I'll let you know.
You're not grasping this, are you? You're the one I'm after. Allow me to lay out the facts, and you can decide for yourself if you want to be my chief investigator. My mother, Dr. Olivia Ambrose, worked for Spacer's Choice at the Gorgon Research Facility. She was brilliant, the top scientist in her field, until tragedy struck.
Go on.
One day, Spacer's Choice shut down all research and evacuated Gorgon. Everyone had to scramble or risk getting left behind. It was chaos. Employees fled for their lives. Mother never made it home. I'm told she wasn't the only casualty that fateful day. Mother's name has since been dragged through the mud. Spacer's Choice blames her for the collapse of Project Gorgon, and I just know they're lying.
What kind of things did they say about her?
Everything you can imagine and more. Dereliction of duty, circulating anti-corporate memos, taking longer than average coffee breaks. The list goes on. Mother would not have allowed Project Gorgon to fail. Something happened on that asteroid, and my family took the fall for it.
So what did you send Lucky to find?
The truth. Mother is gone, Gorgon is silent, and I deserve answers.
All right, well, where do I start?
We start where all of this began. With Mother. Whatever happened on Gorgon wasn't Mother's fault. I simply need the evidence to prove it. We're going to drag the truth, kicking and screaming, into the light. Even if it means bringing ruin and humiliation to Spacer's Choice. All the evidence I need should be in Mother's journal. You can find it in her office on Gorgon, in the heart of the old research facility.
So, can I ask you a few questions first?
I'm not surprised. Between the family drama and the corporate conspiracy, it must feel like you've stepped on a landmine. Speak freely, Captain.
Any idea how this investigation got Lucky killed?
You know as much as I do, I'm afraid. Spacer's Choice abandoned Gorgon, but the asteroid is far from unoccupied. Between the marauders, the wildlife, and whatever escaped the labs, danger abounds.
What kind of wildlife are we talking about here?
Your guess is as good as mine. I know that Spacer's Choice bred canids, especially for Gorgon. They were supposed to act as living cattle prods. By now, they've probably gone feral. Just watch yourself. If you aren't careful, you stand to lose more than an arm.
Okay. So what good is your mother's journal going to do to you? That's hardly evidence, right?
I suspect it will prove that corporate greed and incompetence were to blame for the calamity at Gorgon, and not Mother. Mother was a brilliant woman. Difficult, cold, unreachable even, but brilliant.
You don't suppose Spacer's Choice may have taken the journal?
Spacer's Choice evacuated in a hurry, leaving a fortune's worth of equipment in their wake.
Ooh.
Mother's journal would have escaped their notice. This is my last hope of redeeming the Ambrose name. I don't like my chances, but I have to try. And I need help. Your help.
Okay, one last thing. It seems like it's been quite a while. Why wait this long to start investigating?
I didn't want to go anywhere near Gorgon. Once I exhausted all my options, the search led me back here. I even had Mother declared legally dead. Would you believe it took 5 years to process the paperwork?
That I'd believe. So it took 5 years then?
Allow me to explain. Mother's body is still on Gorgon. No body means no death certificate, which means no inheritance. I killed Mother, just on paper, of course, so I could claim my inheritance. We wouldn't be standing here if I didn't have access to the family fortune. I once assumed the mansion and the money would be enough to redeem the Ambrose name. But even in Byzantium, prestige must be earned, and it can so easily be lost.
So why didn't inheriting all her wealth work?
Turns out I wasn't giving society enough credit. The smear campaign against Mother was the work of cowards. I'm vindicating the family name for her, for the colony, and for my future.
Your future?
My future as the head of the Ambrose family business, where I can wield my fortune like a cudgel. This colony is in trouble. The lunatics at Spacer's Choice are running the asylum, and we need better people to wield their influence. After Gorgon, I quickly discovered that the Ambrose name was cursed, for lack of a better term. I had no place among the decision makers. No seat at the table. That's Byzantium for you. Gossip mongering's a bigger sport than tossball.
That is why I'm clearing the record and vindicating the Ambrose line. For Mother. For me. And for the generations who will one day inherit Halcyon.
You really think this is gonna work?
I know it will. I believe that covers it all.
Are you ready to get started? We mustn't allow the trail to get cold.
Well, clearly it's been several years, so I don't know the trail's gonna get any colder. Alright, if Spacer's Choice is hiding something, I'll figure it out. Eventually.
I believe you're the first person to ever side with me against the corporation. It's a refreshing change.
When you reach Gorgon, pack a weapon you trust.
The corporate lockdown hasn't stopped the wilderness from squirming in through the cracks.
So, how much did Lucky know about this job?
I told him everything I've told you.
Just the facts. Maybe a couple of harmless embellishments. Why?
No reason. So where do I start?
There's a little saloon near Gorgon's landing pad. The Sprat Shack. Lucky was renting a room. So if you want to follow his trail, that would be the place to start.
Wait,
I
what?
think I've heard of that place. Cheap whiskey, rough crowd. You'll love it.
Wait,
I
I'm
want to
confused.
stop in and taste the local flavor.
Just so we understand each other, money is no object. I'm willing to squander the family fortune if you get me what I want. Between your payment and any salvage you happen across, you'll walk away from this rich enough to buy a mansion of your own. How does that sound?
Ooh, I like a lot. Okay.
Finally, I get to put my inheritance to work. Here's your nav key, Captain. Safe travels.
Yep. Yep, that's definitely real.
How can you tell? On second thought, don't answer that. A word of advice before you go, Captain. Trust no one. Mother's office is in the heart of the Gorgon facility. You're free to salvage anything that isn't nailed down. I only want what's mine.
Salvage rights and a paycheck? This is almost too good to be true.
It's not theft if she's giving us permission.
It's not theft if they don't find out about it. Okay. I was confused there for a minute because she said that Lucky was renting a room, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. I thought they evacuated the place. Yeah, we're not getting in there. But it was kind of like Monarch was evacuated. There's probably still people there. Just all the important carpet people got out. I don't know if the right to salvage includes this area, but I'm taking this stuff too. Ooh, what's this? Dearest mother and father, I've paced the halls of this gilded cage long enough. Since you won't permit me to help the family business, I'm leaving to start a business of my own. Am I too young for such ambitions? Perhaps. But that is the risk you take when you fashion a daughter in your image. Byzantium will welcome me with open arms. Won't that be a new sensation? If ever I return, it'll be to claim my rightful spot as the head of this family. Sounds like she was estranged from her family. I like the horse. With a gun tail. Alright, I think I've seen everything there is to see here. Back to the ship. What could possibly go wrong? This seems like a pretty straightforward job. Go to Gorgon. Find the diary. Bring it back here. And get filthy rich.
Query. Are you outside the house?
Boy, I wish I could help you out there. Poor guy. It's an impressive view out there. That place there is probably what it was before. And that's the main colony, if you could call it a colony.
We are now in orbit above Gorgon.
Alrighty. Let's have a chat with the folks and then we'll head out.
Something busted, Captain?
What are your thoughts on Gorgon?
I hope we can help Miss Minnie uncover what happened to her mother. I wouldn't wish the pain of not knowing on hardly anyone.
You poked around the unreliable. Ever find any record of Lucky Montoya?
Not a word. And I've been sticking my nose in every one of our stately ladies' crannies, stem to stern. Oh, law. That sounds untoward, don't it? That ain't what I meant. Point is, Captain, Mr. Hawthorne left all kinds of scribblings behind panels and under consoles, but ain't a lick of it mentioned Mr. Lucky. So whatever they got up to in the past must have been really extra secret. And lots of fun.
Okay, well, whatever kind of kink you're into, I don't need to know. Let me know if you find anything.
Sure thing, Captain.
So how do you feel about this job?
I don't want to be mean, Captain, but I can't help wondering if Miss Minnie is telling us the whole story about Gorgon. Her mother worked there for years and years, and she doesn't know hardly the first thing about it? It seems fishy. And in the serials, mystery's always got a twist.
So what do you think the twist is to this one?
Well, Virginia Yang, that girl detective, she'd say to check your theories at the door. Just look at the facts and follow the clues. Me? I just want to fix what's been broke.
Alright, good talk.
Sanitizing with it.
Good to see you, boss.
Hey, got a minute? I want to talk to you about Gorgon.
So we just sat around a table talking about a severed arm. Of all the weird things that happened on this ship, that ranks somewhere in the middle.
What do you think about this Lucky Montoya guy?
You ever watch The Masked Marketeer?
No.
Episode 5 of The Masked Marketeer. First appearance of a recurring villain. Big ol' galoot, built like one of those industrial-class garbage compressors. His name? Tiny.
I don't get it.
All right, I'll explain. Every adventure serial's gotta have a supporting character with an ironical name. It's a rule of the genre. Masked Marketeer had a massive bruiser named Tiny, and we got ourselves a real unfortunate hullhead named Lucky. Coincidence? I think not.
Whoa, slow down. Are you saying we're in an adventure serial?
Not exactly, boss. I was being... what's the word? Metaphorical? I'm saying there's something different about this job. We're freelancers. We take any job we can get. But this one? The dying message of a stranger. A severed hand delivered in a crate. Let's just say it beats flying around the colony running errands. So, of course, I'm gonna be excited.
Well, it's an interesting lead. Let's see where it goes.
You're a master of understatement, boss.
See you later.
Every SAM unit comes lean, mean, and ready to clean.
Ah!
Error. This unit is unable to process the service request. Ah! Customer, please repeat the command.
Yes, I have fewer robots. Alright, bye.
Something on your mind? You know I've got no love for top rungers, but if Minnie's willing to pay, I say we take her money.
Fair.
Sure. Something on your mind?
Nyoka? Honey?
Big game hunter on the planet.
I need a minute. Oh god, I wish I could take a picture of this right now. Oh my god. Nyoka's a girl after my own heart. I'll just leave you to that then. I don't want to wake her.
Yes, you caught me ruminating again. Guilty as charged. What's occupying your thoughts?
What's your take on this whole Gorgon business?
Perhaps it's just my judicious nature, but I think we should be careful if we're following up on this lucky fellow's message.
What makes you say that?
I've always felt caution as the best approach when one has delivered a message attached to a severed limb.
Does it happen a lot for you? What do you think about what he was saying?
Well, all we have to go on is that overly dramatic message, but I think it's safe to say this lucky fellow's upper story is lacking in the gray matter department. It doesn't strike me as a setup, but I still advise caution.
Lacking in the gray matter department. Sounds familiar. You do think we should look into it, though, right?
Why not? It is what we do, isn't it?
Looking into things? For money? Yeah. Could use those lockpicks. Okay, I've talked to everybody, got a feel for what they think. Let's head out. I think I'm going to take the... Well, Nyoka seems like she's really tied one on last night and it's a little under the weather, if you could say. I think she might have aimed for her bunk and missed slightly. But Felix and Pravati seem the most enthusiastic about this job, so I'll take them along.
This ain't a proper serial adventure without a narrator. How about this? Our intrepid heroes stepped foot on Gorgon, and in the distance, a drinking establishment beckoned.
Sounds about right. Just looking around to see if there's anything else on this landing pad. Doesn't look like it. Wait, what's that over there? Loot. My loot. Is it just me, or is there an alarm in the distance? Sounded like an alarm. I could be mistaken. What's over here? The heck are these things? Huh. Oh, this looks impassable. Nothing over there. Oh, there's something hiding over here. Bunch of stuff left behind back here. It's helpful. There's a general store.
If you need them. No one lasts long on Gorgon unprepared.
I'm gonna assume that I can't just take this stuff. Yeah, let's not mess with that. Hi.
You looking for supply, stranger? Let's stock up here. If you run low on bullets out in Gorgon's far reaches, there ain't no one around here liable to help you out. Let me know if you're looking for something particular.
So this is Gorgon.
You mean you came out to this asteroid without knowing nothing about it? Me too. Heard it was wild here and couldn't resist. Trouble is, if you wander off to somewhere you oughtn't be, like way out in Gorgon's farthest reaches, odds are slimmer of your bits finding their way to my pockets. If you want my advice, stick close to the Sprat Shack, unless you fancy having your limbs torn off and eaten.
Or having your limbs torn off and delivered somewhere. Yeah, I do not fancy that. I do not fancy that at all.
I figured not. Look, I ain't stopping you from wandering elsewhere. But if you do, be sure you watch out for the Marauders. That's the #1 thing. And the Mance, I guess. You watch out for Marauders, Mance, and Charles from accounting, and you'll probably be fine.
Okay. Who's Charles from accounting?
Only the meanest marauder on Gorgon. And also anywhere else. That man is crazier than a bag of canids and twice as likely to bite. He will bust your head open like an overripe mock apple if he so much as sees you. I ain't joking. He'll snap you in half like stale bread noodles.
All this talk of food is making me hungry.
Sorry. Been a minute since I last ate. Charles from accounting is like... Imagine if you took 3 of the most howling mad marauders you could find and mashed them together. That's Charles.
That's really gross.
Not like that, Hullhead. Metaphorically. Well, I warned you. If you run off and get exploded to death by a madman with a rocket launcher now, that's on you.
So, I take it that evacuation alarm isn't urgent?
Huh? Oh, you don't gotta worry about that. It's got something to do with that scrapped Spacer's Choice project from way back. Damn alarm's been hollering at us for 5 years if it's been a day. You know, I don't dream anymore. It's all, please evacuate in an orderly fashion.
Jeez, you think that'd drive you crazy like Chinese water torture? Should I maybe turn the thing off?
I won't stop you if you want to have a go at it. But so you know, it's gonna take more than giving that control terminal a good old-fashioned pummeling.
Well, that's usually how I
know,
fix
because
stuff.
even Von Hoffman couldn't bash it in. And I seen that tough son of a gun throw a man clean across the Sprat Shack one time like he were a toss ball.
Alright, anyway, what can you tell me about Project Gorgon?
Only that Spacer's Choice shut it down in a big hurry. From what I heard, some of their folks got left behind even. Don't seem like the project ended well.
Alright, let's see what you have for trade.
Found a pickaxe in the mine like none I've ever seen before. Could be awful useful if you're the violent type.
Oh, I am. I am the violent type. Wow. That's 6,000 bits, but it's really good. Now, you might think that's not really good, but if I got the perk that you do triple damage with improvised weapons, it's really good. Yeah, what else am I going to spend money on? I'll save it for later. Okay, he had some really cool weapons, but let's see. Well, it's kind of wasted unless I upgrade some of those weapons. They're not actually as good as I thought. But maybe when I get around to doing some inventory management, I can make use of them. This apparently isn't stealing, so I'm going to take this stuff. Shipping and receiving. Oh, that's the Sprat Shack. Is that where the tavern place is? I'm not 100% sure. It's like a checkpoint that's been abandoned. Maybe I should follow the stupid quest marker. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's head up here. Explore more a little bit later. Guess I can see why they call it the Sprat Shack. Just looking around for shinies. What's this terminal? Electricity rationing in effect. By accessing this terminal, you consent to paying 1 bit per every option selected. Wow. Man. Employee Tran Dominic currently owes 9,508 bits. I'm not going to pay that bill. I couldn't anyway. What are these shipments? Outgoing shipments. 2,000 cartons containing redacted heading for Edgewater. Plus some discharge and reassigned staff. Manifest content exceeds recommended maximum weight of this vessel. Well, that seems bad. 100 cartons containing prototype redacted. 2 tons raw ore of redacted, and 15 staff. Again, exceeding maximum weight for the vessel and is headed for Stowe Bay. Okay. Importing some volunteers and some oxygen and injection ampules. Mr. Tran, are you aware of the concept of relativity? It's a rhetorical question. I am aware that Spacer's Choice training does not include business philosophy in its curriculum. Consider this a remedial education. Broadly, relativity is an economic idea that describes productivity in terms of relationship. For example, from your point of view, the Agrassis, i.e. your freight depot, exports shipments at a perfectly reasonable rate. However, from the point of view of your enterprising colleague, S. Reynard, the Agrassis freight depot exports shipments at a positively pathetic rate. If a single one of your colleagues is capable of 3 times your productivity, then relative to your colleague, the Agrassi freight depot is a failure. The rubric of your success is measured relative to your fastest, strongest, and most productive colleagues. Do you understand? Please take a moment to consider the contents of this message and commit them to your heart. Furthermore, please select one of the following reprimands below and append it to your permanent record. Okay. Buddy, I don't understand how you managed to log 3 times the number of shipments I do out of that miserable shack you call an office, but you need to cut it the fuck out. Mostly's been poking at the Agrassi ship rate numbers again, and now he's started asking why Lewis and I can't pack as quickly together as you can alone. I'm thinking maybe I should tell him you're dipping into the supply of the prototype Adrena time. I don't think he'd like that, do you? Shit, maybe you are. If that's the case, well, maybe you ought to come lend me and Lewis a hand when we load up the next haul of the test subject corpses. Give yourself a real good view of what Chem's wonder drug does. Test subject corpses? Dom, you gotta help me out. The Monarch's delivery's gone MIA. And now the big guy at corporate is messaging my personal terminal looking for answers. Not mostly, not Goodfellow. That rear sucker suit-wearing MFer from Byzantium, Bancroft. Your kid cousin still works in Cascadia, right? Do you think he could hoof it over to Stowe Bay and just, I don't know, poke around the port, see if it's there? The transport we packed last week. I know it's a lot to ask, and you know how I feel about begging for handouts, but I swear to the law, if I looked out my door, that Bancroft guy'd be there, in the street, slapping a wrench against his palm, like a mob boss, in one of those bootleg serials from Groundbreaker. Please, man, you know how a fan I am of my kneecaps. Boy, there's a lot to unpack there. What's this guy on about? I don't know, but this robot makes me nervous. I think I'll get my distance from it. A lot to unpack in those messages. I'm getting the impression that they made Adrena time here. That was their major export, but they're also doing some kind of experiments on test subjects. Anyway, let's check in the spread check. See if we can find any more information about Lucky.
Come here. Let's have a chat.
Von Hoffman. Hi.
All right, inspection time. Look at my eyes for as long as you can without blinking. Starting now.
Is this a staring contest?
Good. Look up. Now look down.
You have pretty eyes.
Thank you. Got 'em from my mother. You're doing swell. Now, name and occupation.
Og, Captain of the Unreliable.
Good enough for me. You're cleared to pass. That was a sanity check. If you had changed like the others, it'd be in your eyes. You'd also be drooling, cursing, and making a mess of the place. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. You can head on downstairs.
What did you mean by people had changed?
Every day, salvagers and scrappers set out to comb the ruins and make their fortune. The ones who come back, they aren't always the same men or women who left. They change. Never for the better.
So what happens when they change?
First, they get real twitchy and paranoid, shouting at folks who aren't there. Then they smell like they soiled themselves, on account of how they soiled themselves. After that, they're gone. Nothing but animals wearing human skin. Seen it happen myself. It's never pretty.
I seem to remember some kind of reference to Adrena time having use of it potentially causing that. Right. So what is this place exactly?
This is the Sprat Shack, the most remote watering hole in the system. Rule number 1, no fighting. Rule number 2, wipe your feet on the way downstairs. We're the only hospitable place on this rock. I want to keep it that way. That's why we have rule number 3. When people change, they stay outside, where they belong.
Okay. Hey, can I ask you about something else?
Just don't ask me to dance.
You do have pretty eyes, though. Well, I can ask him what he does around here, but I think it's obvious. He's the doorman. He's the guy that makes sure the undesirables don't get in. So what kind of people come to the Spread Shack?
This is a sublight bar, so most of our regulars come to plunder the old labs. The facility's locked up behind miles of red tape, so progress is slow. A lot of time to drink and reevaluate, then venture out and try again.
So this is a sublight salvage operation. Okay, makes sense. What can you tell me about Gorgon?
Something bad happened here. Spacer's Choice was developing chemicals. The kind with nasty side effects.
Are there any other
Can
kind?
this colony have one research facility developing something without horrible, face-melting side effects? Is that so much to ask?
That is asking a
Marauders
lot.
outnumber the rest of us 10 to 1. Either they came from Gorgon, or something draws them here. I don't know which is worse. This place is under a dark cloud, stranger. That's all I know. If you want the history of the Sprat Shack, talk to Lex behind the bar.
Alright, I guess that's it. See you around.
Watch yourself out there.
Alright, let's check out this bar.
Now this looks like a real dive. Hey, I wonder if they got those floorboards that creak when a stranger walks in.
Oh, ugh. This place smells like Felix's birth.
This looks like a nice place. And I think we'll check it out next time. That's going to be it for today. I know not much excitement, a lot of reading terminal entries and talking to people. But we're just starting to learn about this place, Gorgon, and what kind of secrets it holds. And hopefully I'll find out a lot more talking to the various people in the seedy bar next time Anamon chooses Peril on Gorgon.
Hey, take your time.